guys and dolls, and welcome back. Today I'm bringing you a very fun and glamorous makeup tutorial. I wanted to do something using my Natasha Denona palette because I know that a lot of you guys want to see looks with this, but some of you are like, hell no, I'm never buying that thing, and that's okay. I'm going to have a list of dupes for you for the eyeshadows that I used from this palette today as part of the blog post for this look on Vintageortacky.com. Let me know what you guys think of this look in the comment section down below. I know it's been a while since I've gone all out in glam. This is a full tutorial. We've got the eye makeup, the face makeup, the lips, the hair, everything. So this is kind of fun to, you know, go ahead and do this for you guys and show you guys the full look. I haven't done that in a while, and I hope you guys don't mind long videos. I keep getting text messages. This is so cute, you guys. My dad texts me every night when he's going to sleep. It's just the cutest thing ever, and so I always want to make sure I text him back. Start out today with my hair in curlers. I've let them set actually for several hours to kind of give you an idea of where that started, and then I just curled it with them all going down this way, and then all going down this way from the part, and then all rolling back in the back. I just love any time that I can sort of juxtapose like a modern, fun, you know, bright eyeshadow and stuff with a more vintage style look. It just completely is my jam. Definitely what my channel Vintageortacky is all about. So if this is your first video here on Vintageortacky, go ahead and click that subscribe button because I really appreciate it, and also you'll see more of this if you like it. And that's it. I think we should just go ahead and get started with the look. First things first, I'm going to apply a base. This is MAC's Painterly Paint Pot and a number 7 brush from Sonia Kashuk. Kind of swirl it around there, get it all over the brush, and then start sweeping that all over my eyelid. Kind of gets rid of all those veins and redness and all that nice neat junk that we're just not really inviting to the eyeshadow party. I'm gonna start with this one, which is called Aubergine. It's like matte deep dark purple. I'm going to place this right into the crease of my eye. And this is a MAC 217 brush. This is great for applying color and blending it on at the same time. I want something to blend out and transition this into the highlight that isn't like a color. I kind of just want something that has a little bit of a neutral base. So I'm going to pick up my Too Faced Chocolate Bonbon palette. Love this guy. I use Almond Truffle, which has a little bit of like a mauve-y brown base. Petroleum Tools brush. I'm just placing that right above the crease. That's the one thing that this Natasha Denona palette is missing, is matte eyeshadows. Like the majority of it is shimmery, which I really don't mind because if I'm paying this much for an eyeshadow palette, I want it to have a lot of beautiful shimmers. But it's missing mid-tone, so it's kind of hard to do a complete look with this unless you're doing something shiny or smoky. So that is one thing that I do want to call out. Now, for my lid itself, I'm going to be adding that beautiful duochromatic eyeshadow. So I want to have something on there that's really going to help it catch the light. So putting down a black base will do that in spades. So I'm just going to place this all over my lid underneath the line where we created our crease. I'm just going to use the same brush that I blended Painterly on with because it doesn't matter if it's a little more of a gray color as opposed to black. The main thing is that it's blended out properly. With the MAC 242, I am picking up Calypso Blue, which is this amazing duochrome. From certain angles it's purple, from other angles it's more teal, from some it's blue. It's really just lovely. So I'm placing that all over my eyelid. I want to brighten up my crease a little bit, so I'm going to dip into this little guy right here, which is called Electric Violet. And place that right there. Ooh, yes! In the outer corner. This look would also be really fun to put petrol blue or petroleum blue all over the lid, but I like that Calypso Blue has that cool transitional, you know, it kind of changes as you shift around town. For a fun little blend out right here in the inner corner, I'm going to take, this is a MAC 252, I'm going to pick up this really great blue. This is called Kowtow, I think is how you say it. I'm just going to use that, just pack that right in the inner corner there. Yeah, that's fun. I'm going to pick up my Wet n Wild eyeshadow in Creme Brulee. I'm placing that right next to where we put Kowtow. It's going to make it just a little bit lighter. And also add just kind of some neutral transitionalness. Kind of blend that all around. And then I'm going to take my brush that I've applied on my crease shades with and just slightly blend that over. I think I'm just barely whispering that on the face. So, longtime viewers of my channel already know I do this. I do like the bulk of the eyeshadow, not the bottom lid. Sometimes the eyeliner, sometimes not, but usually I just do the bulk of the eyeshadow. And then I remove any fallout from the face. So I'm taking a little bit of Bioderma. And I just, there actually isn't much, which is quite fortunate. But you never know, and especially with blue eyeshadows, I find with my very fair skin, if there is any fallout from blue eyeshadow, it is a bit of a hot mess with me. It just really makes me look just wan and it's just not good. So now I'm going to go ahead and do my face makeup. I'm going to first grab my Hourglass primer, which is amazing. So lately, my absolute favorite foundation is actually two foundations. It's mixing the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Gel, which is kind of like a tinted moisturizer, and the Urban Decay Naked Skin in shade 1. Together, the color matches me really well, and the coverage is exactly what I want, which is slightly less than regular foundation, but way more than tinted moisturizer. So I just mix the two together on my palette, take my little beauty blender sponge. This is the Miracle Complexion Sponge from Real Techniques, which is cheaper and even better, in my opinion. And I just sort of mix them together on the back of this palette guy. Place it where I need it. See how good that color matches? I mean, it's a little lighter, but once things get blended on, it's just my skin. Minus the redness. So then I just bop it around my face to blend it on. Okay, so for my concealer today, I'm going to be using, again, two products. I'm going to be mixing together two shades of the NYX Full Coverage, or Gotcha Covered Total. It's a waterproof, highly pigmented concealer. So I got those on my palette. I just put it on there right over the don't mind me, I can't talk. Mix them together and point that on my under eye as well as a little bit right there. I'm very red right there right now. I don't know what's up. On my little Beauty Mark zit. Does anyone else name their zits? I'm calling mine Marsha. So then I will go over that with my little Beauty Blender sponge thingy. And I kind of am like pinching it together and make it a little bit narrower, so that around places like the eyes, it's not so big. Really gently blend around a little zitty poo and around my nose. For powder today, I'm going to be using my Laura Mercier Go-To powder, and I'm going to dispense it into the top part of this, which I'm just going to place on a paper towel on my desk so that it doesn't get my desk dirty. And I'm going to use that in places like my under eye. Sometimes I use the, oh, see, I got a little bit of it in my eyeshadow. Hopefully that didn't just screw me over. I normally use the Laura Mercier, I can't talk, Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder under my eyes. But today I'm going to be using another highlighting product in this general vicinity. And because I'm going to be reviewing it, I don't want anything else interrupting it. So I'm just applying powder all over the face. So once I've applied it to all of the sort of like traditional bake highlight areas, well, so I've got like that taken care of and like that, I'll then just take whatever's left on the brush and just pounce that all over the rest of the face to make sure that everything is powdered and everything has time to set. Okay, so I went ahead and let that bake, and now I'm just going to use my large powder brush. This is a Wayne Goss brush, just to wick away any fallout. Actually, my grandma always taught me that whenever you wipe your eye, you always wipe up. So sometimes when I'm doing my palette, I like to remember that and Do it that way. So now for my eyebrows. This is something I've been doing lately. I don't really like a lot of brows and it's like a lot of brows. So lately I've been liking a relatively mild brow fill. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to use my Milani Brow Tip pen, which is in the shade Natural Taupe, but I find has a little bit of a reddish tint to it. So it goes well with my hair. As you can see, my natural brows are a bit more of like an ash brown color because that's the color of my hair naturally. I like to come up from the bottom and sort of draw it up. And then I'll draw it over, making sure I get plenty of it in between the brow hairs, because that way I give it the right tint. And you know what, while I'm at it, fill in the little tail. This is the Brow Tamer from Urban Decay in the shade Dark. And it's just really about giving some texture to the brow by making the brow hairs a little bit darker, which naturally they're much lighter than the color that I just filled them in with. So it kind of makes them look a little fuller without having to fill them in super dark all over. Today I'm using the Makeup Forever ink liner, which is not a waterproof eyeliner, but I like it because it's super richly black. And I'm taking this on a little tiny brush. This is from Petroleum Tools. And I'm just doing a thin strip of black. A little thicker in the outer corner. And then I'll just run my brush like this to give it a quick little flick up. And then bring it over to meet the rest of the liner. It's like a little baby kitten wing. It's like you don't even know it's there. But it helps lift the eye up. I'll take one of my little mini cutie baby Q-tips in the inner corner to clean that up. For my false lashes today, I'm going to be using or reusing this pair from the Katy Perry Allure line. They're called Kapow. They have a light blue tint to them. They're kind of cool. A couple little tips I have for re-wearing lashes is to first remove any traces of the previous glue, because that'll help it not be too bulky. And then take a little bit of black liner and just run along the outside edge of the band. It just kind of helps to make it dark again, just in case there was any little bits of the glue that you weren't able to get off. I have my House of Lashes black glue on my falsies, and I'm just going to kind of curve them around to help them stick on a little bit better. And then I'm going to stick them on. I love these lashes. They're like big old fans on my my lash line. And I had already put my mascara on before I applied my false lashes because these have a slightly blue tint, so I didn't want to put mascara over the top of them. So I'm just going to let my lash glue completely settle in before I do any eyeliner. And also because I have stuff all over my hands, I need to wash my hands. Okay, in my inner rims, I'm going to put a little bit of feathered pencil from OCC. And then on the underside of my lash line, I'm going to take Deep End from Urban Decay. Nice, gorgeous, bright teal. Eyes watering, so I'm not even going to attempt to try to place this in the outer corner. But I'm going to blend it out with a Q-tip. Over that, I'm just going to take a little bit of Petroleum Blue. I'm going to place that over it on the inner portion, which is pretty much the exact same color, but it just really enhances it, makes it a little more intense, but also long lasting. And then over the outer corner, I'm going to take Vivid Violet, which we used earlier in the crease, and just put that right there over it and blend it in. I've noticed that when I do blue eyeshadow, sometimes my face can look a little pale, so I want to warm it up. I'm going to use a little bit of this ambient lighting powder from Hourglass, and I'm going to use Dim Light. And I'm just going to place that in places like my cheeks. It's almost like a little bit like a blush, but it can also be used very lightly in places like my forehead to add a little color. You can probably already see the effect. Just kind of generally sweep it on the cheek. Not adding a huge concentration of it. Just enough to add, and you can see what that did. I just added a little something to my face. Okay, for my contour today, I'm taking a Charlotte Tilbury powder and sculpt brush and a little bit of my NYX Taupe blush, which is on its very last legs, but hey, it's still hanging in there. I'm just using that to contour my cheekbones, a little under the chin. Tiny little bit along the side of the nose, and then I'll take my brush and blend over that so it's not as stark. For actual blush, I'm going to do a mixture of Spellbound from Makeup Geek. Pop that right there on the apples of my cheeks. And then I'm also going to dip into this one, I forget the name of it, Infatuation. Which is more like a browner, not really brown, but like, you get the idea. Warmer, deeper blush. A little too intense on this side, so I'm going to take that down a notch with my sponge. And for my highlight today, I'm going to use Iridescent Light, which is the strobe highlight. I'm going to have a review of these coming up soon. I'm just putting that right here. It's a peachier tone. It goes great with this blush. A little bit on the nose. I love a glowy nose. And chin. This is Cuff from Urban Decay. It's a little glittery. Before I finish filming the makeup for this, I did want to do my hair because I didn't want to have my lipstick on and then risk getting my hair in my lipstick. So I just had my hair up in some rollers. I've been rocking this set now for a couple days, so it's not quite as nice as it was the first day, and it's I'm not even really sure how this is going to turn out, so I might just end up having to put it up. Okay, so now that I have them all out, it actually turned out really good and curly. I'm impressed. When I put them up today, they were dry, but I did spray a little bit of my Lay Right grooming spray in them as I was re-rolling them, but not enough to like undo the curl. So this is pretty freaking impressive. I did not wake up with hair nearly this curly, so that's quite nice. I'm just using my Denman's brush to brush them out. Being very, very mindful and very careful of my ends because I have damaged hair, and let me tell you something. It's not nice to brush your hair and have it break off. I mean, it's just doing such lovely things. I was going to put it up with like a bandana if it didn't turn out, but this is actually quite good. I kind of like the idea of this kind of curl fluff. If you have hairs like this that are just a little bit too long, that aren't cooperating, just take a pin and just sort of pin them up in to the rest of the hair. You got a couple long ones back here that are just, they either didn't get curled as much of the rest of it or whatever, but they're kind of hanging out a little longer than what I'd like. With a soft red lipstick, this is Lion King from Colourpop. It's definitely a red, but it's a little less like pow in your face compared to some other reds, just because with the blue eyeshadow, even though I think it looks really cool and fun and maybe a little tacky on purpose, I did want to have it like just reeled in just enough. And then I'm going to apply this little pin. I also put on my earrings, my wedding ring. This little pin I recently got, actually Mikey gave this to me for Valentine's Day, but we got it at this cool local like gift shop called Modern Mouse, and this is from Yes to Yes, Yes and Yes Designs, and it's actually made out of a book. How cool is that? So that is my look. I hope that you guys enjoyed this glamorous makeup tutorial, and will join me for another video next time. If you haven't hit that subscribe button already, now would be the time, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Remember to be vintage or tacky. Just be your own kind of beautiful. See you, bye!